Let me just say this. I agree with what Senator Lindsey Graham said. Shut up. That's what he said to them. I think they should just shut up. Thank you all very much.
What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and over the last 48 hours, things have erupted with stimulus. I've got a lot to get you caught up on. This is your Build Back Better, stimulus, building a better America, and stimulus package update. Now, you guys, I'm going to be sharing with you some video footage. We've got a lot to cover, as you know, the president gave his State of the Union address, and in there, he laid out his 4-point plan, which we have now heard is called Building a Better America, and this is going to be the economic revitalization plan for our country. We're going to be hearing them try to lower costs, provide additional provisions. We're going to see what makes it in, and we're hearing that there is support from Senator Joe Manchin, who is actually helping assemble this right now so that way Democrats can pass through a stimulus reconciliation bill and get it out to the public right away. Now, in addition to that, I've got some footage for you as we now have responses from Republicans. And you're going to want to hear Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell's response on this. And let me know your thoughts. Are you of the opinion that the president has done enough to help us out and he's going to continue to do more and doing well? Or are you of the opinion, like Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, that he has not done enough? You're going to hear him say he should have pivoted, changed the narrative, and also should be doing other things and focusing his attention otherwise. Let me know your thoughts. Where are you feeling right now with President Biden, his leadership, stimulus, and everything going on? Now, also, I've got Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. So we've got both sides for you, who is saying that he is very happy with how things are going. They're on track, and he pinpoints some of the things that the president is doing right now, and he's going to be announcing here that there is going to be calls for even more spending and stimulus to help out with the economy and help out battling the pandemic. So there is going to be more stimulus bills on the way. Now, in addition to that, during the president's State of the Union address, there was hecklers from the Republican side calling him out. I've got the video footage, and Nancy Pelosi, you saw her response. She told them to go shut up. You guys. So I'm going to be sharing with you the video footage, getting you caught up on the latest. A lot unfolding in the past couple days as stimulus has erupted and it is back on the scene. So let's go ahead and dive right in, get you caught up on the latest. But before we do, if you can do me a quick favor, just a simple gesture, just takes a second, helps out the channel a ton, and that is smash that like button for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Also, leave your comments. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, totally free to do so. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. You can come join the Ram fam. I'll keep you up to date. And if you got any specific questions for me, I'm easy to get a hold of directly. All you got to do is hop onto Instagram, shoot me a DM at SteveRam3. Best way by far to get a hold of me, you guys. But with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, so before we hear from Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, first, let's take a look at the heckling that took place during the State of the Union address by President Joe Biden, and articles coming out like this. Take a look at this. Lauren Boebert heckles Biden as he honors dead soldiers during the State of the Union. You put them in. 13 of them, the Colorado lawmaker yelled, referring to the service members who died in Afghanistan last summer as the president spoke of his late son. And you can also see there Marjorie Taylor Greene as well. So let's take a look at these clips. There's actually 2 of them. There was this, and also they started chanting, "Build the wall." Take a look.
Headaches, numbness, dizziness. A cancer that would put them in a flag draped coffin. I know. One of those soldiers was my son, Major Bo Biden. I don't know for sure if the burn pit that he lived near, that his hooch was near, in Iraq and earlier than that in Kosovo, is the cause of his brain cancer, the disease of so many other troops. But I am committed to find out everything we can. In order to advance liberty and justice, we need to secure our border and fix the immigration system.
So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, we actually had Nancy Pelosi asked about her opinion as to what unfolded. Take a look at what she had to say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
On the
Last question.
On the State of the Union, we did see numerous outbursts from Representatives Boebert and Green during President Biden's speech. As I'm sure you probably remember, when Congressman Joe Wilson yelled "You lie" at President Obama in 2009, the House actually passed a resolution of disapproval on that. We haven't heard any talk of that now, but I'm wondering just what is your reaction to those outbursts? Should any action be taken? And what does it say about this?
Let me just say this. I agree with what Senator Lindsey Graham said. Shut up. That's what he said to them. I think they should just shut up. Thank you all very much.
So there you have it, you guys. A lot unfolding from the time of that State of the Union address. We now have a new stimulus package, heckling, and also it seems like Congress has never been more divided than they are now. They are not unified, and we actually heard from Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. I'm going to be sharing with you the video footage. Now, first, we're going to hear from Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, and he's going to be saying he disapproves with everything that's unfolding. He thinks the president should have pivoted. Let me know your thoughts. And he says that they're not addressing the needs of the American people. And he said that the pollings right afterward, which were primarily Democrats, which I shared with you here on the channel, he said they're saying they disapprove of the president and how he's handling things domestically along with foreign policy. Now, right after that, I'm going to share with you Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who actually praises Biden for his efforts. And he says there's three main things that the president did really well in that speech. He said supporting Ukraine. Also, he said combating the pandemic and also putting together a new plan to lower costs. And I'm just going to be sharing with you the ones focused on economic news. But let's go ahead and start off with Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
The Republican leader.
Last night, President Biden gave a State of the Union address that might have worked okay for a popular administration that had been successfully tackling America's problems and actually earning high marks. But that's not the reality in which we live. Democrats spent the last 12 months making major and painful policy errors. The public overwhelmingly disapproves. President Biden didn't need to stay the course and rehash a scattered wish list. He needed to make a dramatic pivot, but he chose not to. The president first discussed Ukraine. Everyone agrees with the sentiments President Biden expressed, but the sentiments are not enough. The president articulated no meaningful new steps, no specific plan. He made no explicit commitment to keep flowing weapons, intelligence, and advanced capabilities into Ukraine as long as the Ukrainians need them. Nor did he explain why his administration was slow to provide lethal assistance in the first place. Instead, the president focused on trying to claim credit for the remarkable European and worldwide response that his administration did not foresee, let alone orchestrate. Apart from Ukraine, the president's other remarks on our dangerous world were not just insufficient, they were basically non-existent. The president spoke for over an hour, but only mentioned China twice. Neither time had anything to do with national security or military modernization. The president only mentioned Iran one time, and it was literally by accident. Zero mentions of North Korea, zero mentions of the botched Afghanistan retreat the administration originally boasted was a, quote, success, end quote. Our 13 service members who lost their lives are completely unmentioned until Governor Reynolds took the microphone. And zero mentions of rebuilding the defense budget that President Biden actually tried to cut last year. Meanwhile, the president's speech tried to skate by the serious kitchen table concerns that are actually keeping families up at night. The president talked about Made in America, but keeps fighting against energy independence. Democrats want us to buy American, but not American oil and gas. On President Biden's watch, we've set a new record for importing Russian oil, and we're begging OPEC to produce even more. And his energy vision is to dump huge subsidies into supply chains that are dominated by China, borrowing from our grandkids to build back Beijing. The president tried yet again to revive the zombie spending plans, which a bipartisan majority of senators have already killed and buried because they would make inflation even worse. He tried to brag about fancy technology on our southern border as if we hadn't just seen a new record for illegal crossings on his watch. The president's address was not responsive to the country's concerns. He needed to pivot, but he didn't. CNN conducted an instant poll. As you might expect, it oversampled Democrats. Even so, the percentage who gave the president's speech high marks was the lowest they'd seen in 15 years. Now, Iowa's hugely successful Governor Kim Reynolds offered the clearest possible contrast. She spoke for the working families who are suffering under Democrat policies. She outlined a common sense Republican vision of stability at home, strength abroad, law and order in our streets, and sanity in our public schools. November is just months away. If President Biden does not correct course sharply and quickly, the American people may correct the course for him.
So there you have it, you guys. Now, let's hear the opposing side and let me know your thoughts. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Last night, before a joint session of Congress, President Biden made the case to the nation and to the world that in the face of immense challenges, the United States remains strong and steady to meet the tests of our time. In an hour-long speech delivered before a chamber that was much fuller than last year, President Biden demonstrated yet again the kind of leader he has been for all his life: optimistic, unifying, decent, and honest about where we are today and where we must go. I applaud President Biden for laying out a bold, strong, and comprehensive vision that will resonate with the vast majority of Americans. In particular, I was glad the president focused on three important things. First, he united the parties in supporting Ukraine and against Putin. Second, he showed how under Democratic leadership, America has turned the corner on COVID. And third, he confronted the urgency of lowering costs for the American families, something our caucus has been focusing on. Second, I was also glad President Biden showed how the country under Democratic leadership is turning the corner in the fight against COVID-19. By passing legislation last year to fund vaccines, expand testing, and support our healthcare workers, we are beating this disease. And what the president said last night was absolutely correct. We cannot have COVID control our lives anymore. But neither can we let our guard down. Right now, as cases are dropping across the board, Congress must pass more funding for vaccines, testing, and therapeutics. And we have to assure that our doctors and nurses and healthcare workers are prepared in case another variant comes this way, so that we can stay as close to normal, so we can stay as close to normal as possible, even if another variant arrives. We have to have an ample supply of vaccines, of therapeutics, of testing ahead of time. We cannot wait. Some of our Republican colleagues seem to be saying, oh, we don't need this now. We do need it now. While we still have the chance, if Congress waits until another variant arrives, it'll be too late. So let me say that again. Even as cases drop across the board, we cannot be complacent against COVID. Congress must pass more COVID funding now so we can be ready. Finally, I'm glad that President Biden zeroed in on cutting costs for American families. A year into the president's first year, the economy is surging and creating an unprecedented number of jobs. But people are struggling because costs are also going up. Your wages are going up, but if the costs keep going up, it eats up those wage increases. Now, why are costs up? Costs are up because of supply chain disruptions stemming from COVID and pent-up demand as people during COVID didn't buy a lot of things. All the while, Americans watch incredulously as some of our largest corporations are raising prices despite growing profits. In some cases, executives are seeing lavish pay increases, and in the end, Americans are footing the bill. Senate Democrats will not stand for this, and we're working with the president to lower costs and build upon the wage growth we've seen over the past year. We're laser focused on reducing America's costs, from lowering the cost of insulin so no one pays more than $35 a month, to lowering the cost of all prescription drugs, to lowering the cost of meat at the grocery store, to fixing our ocean shipping lines so the bottlenecks don't raise their costs. Shipping costs have gone way up, as the president mentioned. And you know what else we could do to lower costs? We can innovate. Congress should continue working to finalize our bipartisan, bicameral jobs and supply chains bill so we can boost American manufacturing, solve our chip crisis, and make our country less dependent on foreign tech companies. In short, despite everything the world faces, President Biden reminded supporters and critics alike why the American people entrusted him with the presidency. He didn't shy away from our challenges, but rather advanced an optimistic and unifying plan for how to meet the moment. Senate Democrats will continue working with the president to move our country forward on lowering costs, on addressing COVID, and in defending our democracy in this hour of peril. I thank the president for his leadership. Let us continue in our work. I yield the floor.
So there you have it. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And you guys, we're going to be seeing what unfolds here. It sounds like there is no Republican support for additional spending. And Democrats, sounds like they're unifying, getting on board everybody, including Senator Joe Manchin, to push this through. We're going to see what they're able to agree upon. We heard him say that one of his requirements is it must be fully paid for. So we're going to see what they come up with, and I'll be sure to share with you here on the channel, and we'll see if they're going to be providing additional stimulus provisions, direct payments to people in some form, maybe stimulus checks, child tax credits, whatever they come up with. I'll be sure to let you know here on the channel, and also we'll keep an eye out for additional stimulus phases to come that we've heard are likely going to be on the way. So with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me as always. I'll catch you next time in the next video. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second, smash that like button for the algorithm. Helps me out a ton. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Leave your comments, share this out. If you want to stay up to date and this is your first time here, don't forget, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. Totally free to come join the Ram fam. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But you guys, thank you so much once again. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.